The October Caddis Skater is a really fun and quite simple pattern to tie, and is a really fun pattern to fish as well. It can be dead drifted as a dry fly or skated across the water surface, which trout find it irresistible. No floating required. Start by placing the hook securely on your tying vise, then load a bobbin with some thread. Here I'm using UTC Ultra Thread 140 in burnt orange. Start your tying thread about 2 eye lengths behind the hook eye, then take a couple wraps rearward before snipping or breaking the tag free. To create the tail on the fly, grab a strip of deer body hair. Here I'm using a northern deer skin. Cut a clump of hair about a pencil width in diameter and then pull out any short and fuzzy fibers from the clump, as shown here. Now put the clump of deer hair into a hair stacker tips first and give them a good stacking. Here I like to cut the butts off even with the top of the hair stacker just to make them more manageable, but this step is optional. Now grab the hair by the tips and get ready to tie them in. Measure your tail a whole hook shank in length, then transfer the measurement to your other hand and move it to the start of the hook bend. Tie the clump down by the butts, first 2 loose wraps, then tighten the wraps as you go. Advance your tying thread back to the start of the bend with fairly loose wraps as not to splay the hair too much. Then secure the deer hair with open spiral wraps, ending with your thread just past the hook point. Then cut the butts off close. Start cleaning up the thread base by wrapping over the exposed hair butts, then advance your thread to the initial tie-in point. Repeat the cutting and stacking process with the deer hair, only this time prepare the hair in the opposite hand with the tips facing forward. Now measure the wings to be a whole hook shank in length, then tie them in with 5 to 6 tight wraps of tying thread, then take a couple wraps rearward before cutting the butts off close. Take your time to clean up the area between the 2 points in which you tied the deer hair to create a smooth underbody, and to cut any wayward or wacky fibers off close. Now grab your favorite dubbing blend. Here I'm using my own self-made dubbing blend in a burnt orange color to match the fly, but just about any natural dubbing in your choice of color will do just fine. Create a fairly long and thin dubbing noodle and take wraps backward and start the dubbing at the base of the tail. Now take close touching wraps with the dubbing to form a nicely tapered body and leave a little space between the dubbing and the butts of the wings, like so. Tie in a 2-inch piece of light brown 2mm craft foam cut to about the width of the dubbing body, right where we left an open space, then wrap rearward a bit, just over the dubbing body, then end with your thread at the edge of the foam. Repeat the dubbing process, only this time with a noodle half the size and length, then fill in the space between the foam and the wings, then wrap underneath the wing butts to form a nice little head right behind the hook eye. Now take your time to split the wings into 2 equal parts, then lightly fold them to hold their position on either side of the hook shank to form the wings on the fly, like this. Now fold the foam down between the wings to form the wing case, then tie it in with 4 to 5 nice tight wraps, then secure the foam. Reach in with your tying scissors and cut the excess foam to form the head on the fly to your desired length as shown here. Grab your whip finish tool and while holding back the foam, do a 4 to 5 turn whip finish, seat the knot well, then snip or cut your tying thread off close. There you have it, the October Caddis Skater.